You know how people say that parents shouldn't have the favorite child of their litter, bunch, flock? What the fuck is a group of children called? I don't know, I'm not a dad. But exactly because of that. I am very hyped about this video coming out today and tomorrow. Now, what's good everyone, it's Word here, and I really did front load the problematic or unique Vault Hunters. The ones that kinda taste like Marmite. You can love them, there's nothing wrong with you loving them, but it ain't gonna be fucking Nutella if you know what I mean. Now look here, Harlow is my absolute darling, right? You guys know this if you've been around the channel. There is a disproportionate amount of her gameplay versus the rest. That's not an accident. But, Vax has always been my guilty pleasure. I absolutely mean this, and I cannot understand how much I love Dead Ringers. You can go back in the past and check my channel and check my videos out. I've loved them when they were dog shit, partially because I built them wrong, and partially because they needed a little bit more love. Now, don't get it twisted. There's still issues. And in the power ranking, they're not exactly gonna be the Tom Brady of the build. You can see where I'm kind of going with this one. There's 2 days left until the takedown, 2 more World Hunters to tackle, and Vax is up next. And of course, the first build that I'm gonna give you guys is the configuration Blood with Dead Ringer Vax. I really envy people that are creative enough to come up with names for builds. I fucking suck at it. The best I could do is maybe like take the first couple of syllables and then just call it the couple of the Vax. That doesn't really roll off the tongue. But either way, so this build has gone through quite a bit of an evolution. We started out with nothing but the Reverberation, then the addition of Holo Specs triggering the Groundbreaker, and then we started having a little bit more option to become hands-on with the Blood Rifts that is spawned by the configurations from the new class mod in Medley DLC. You really are becoming the bit of a full package, and you can just decide if you want to kick back and relax, or go in like a badass ninja and then one-shot everybody with your shuriken throwing knives that just a single knife, so not exactly a shuriken. But look, here's the honest, as unbiased of an assessment as I can give because it's not all roses and rainbows. The minion AI can be finicky. We all know that. Sometimes they're just gonna run to China, and then you're gonna be like, "Oi, buddy, big guy over there, do you wanna go get him up?" And sometimes you're gonna place a rift and watch it just shoot the biggest rock constantly, and you're gonna be like, "Whew, that could have been more fun." But when that doesn't happen, you got some, if not the most insane debuffs that you can have. Your Reaper clone is going to apply everything. And on top of that, you're just going to be chilling on top of the mountain with blood rifts placed left and right, and you're just going to watch everything melt. Now, I'm glad to hear that the little birdie is back on my window, but keep it down, buddy, I'm recording. So, if you've not tried it yet, the whole point is you really are doing a disservice to yourself. You know the funny part is that doing these videos and recording and playing all these builds, they are not created equal. Like to me, that is as clear as day. Now what also is as clear as day is that if you like this video or heck the entire series, hit that sub button, ring that bell so you don't miss out on the future videos, and if you want to help me feed Steve, consider joining as a channel member. Obviously I'd love to have you. But look, let's get on with the shizzle that are also known as the talents, and I'm gonna kind of go through them relatively quickly because it is fairly simple. In the Dead Ringer tree, you're gonna work your way down to Holo Specs. That's gonna give you the biggest damage, and of course Reverberation that will juice up your Reapers. A small note, because we're using Holo Specs to trigger Groundbreaker, we're also gonna pick up Prismatic Weaponry as the Blood Rifts are gonna get bonus and then feed into that. As for the augment, Coven is the best for bossing, but Hellish Harvest might be low-key goated if there's going to be 50 million mobs around, because the Reapers are going to become unkillable. As for the capstone, we're going to take the Grim Reaper. I mean, it's the only one. But to be fair, it spawns 3 Reapers on kills, so we ain't going to be complaining about that one. Now moving on to the green tree, it is also all too familiar. We take damage with damage with damage with Kiss activation with Bloodletter because bleed is good. Done. Now look, yes, to be fair, this is that simple. The 1 point in leeching achievement is going to be useful here because holding a kinetic gun, which we are going to do, is going to circle into our soup through prismatic weaponry. 1 point is enough though because we don't care about the reload speed and the lifesteal here. We ain't going to be shooting ever. Fuck all that. Now as for whether or not you take 1 point out of Bloodletter or Mortal Terror, I kind of leave it up to you. But I would recommend taking it from Bloodletter because you don't need the bleed as much as you need the activation to be quicker, faster, and more reliable. So to me, that wins. But I base this off of vibes, nothing else. So yeah. But alrighty then. Let's tackle the gameplay because there is some nuance that will make your life a little bit easier. So first of all, there's gonna be Rumble. And if there's Rumble, you're gonna always start out with the Grim Reaper because if an enemy dies, there is a 33% chance that you'll get a free Reaper, as long as the Grim Reaper was sucking him off. Now, do note that things like now with caffeine will not help with the cooldown of this at all. It is gonna be 120 seconds no matter what. It will only give you a chunk of your Reaper, now with caffeine, a chunk of your Reaper count back. So use this if you know that there's going to be many mobs coming at you. Don't waste it if there's not going to be any rumbles. Then, as soon as you activate your Dead Ringers, you're going to spawn a Blood Rift where you stand right above your head. This is very important to keep in mind because if you don't give the Blood Rift an unobstructed line of sight to your target, it ain't going to do jack shit. There's no wanted Angelina Jolie curving the bullet right here. That's why you see me just in the clips cosplaying as a mountain goat, chilling on top like ho 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 ho. But then the next bit of crucial information is that you gotta hold as strong of a card damage weapon in your hand as you can. And on the barrels count. So the potato thrower for me with an airstrike of 120k is just a very easy form and a very strong damage. That stat stick is just gonna be goated. You do have to have the mode switched on when you spawn the Blood Rifts. Once it's spawned, you can switch around if you want to get more engaged and then just shooty, bam, bam, perfectly fine. But while this is all going on, when you have your Rifts up, everything is getting ganged upon by your Reapers, your Blood Rift, your Groundbreaker is just getting stuffed like a Thanksgiving bloody turkey. So if you decide that you needed a little more hands-on management approach, you can always cash out that Groundbreaker with your Horus specs. The small tip here, which is actually not a small tip, that the Horus specs will match the element of your gun that you're holding. So if it's an armor hellbore, make sure to switch to something corrosive because you're gonna get the big old chunky boost. And then bim bam boom, you're done. Again, I know I sound like a groupie from the 80s, but it is crazy how satisfying the Horus specs feels. I really don't know why, but I just love it. But then let's tackle the gear quickly because that one is relatively okay. The weapon is going to be a big part of your damage, and the underbarrel you're going to have to farm it out. I do recommend the airstrike with the potato thrower. That one seems to be the easiest to get to. For the rep kit, non-negotiable, triple bypass with action skill cooldown acceleration is going to be needed. The triple bypass will make so that anytime there is something dies, you have a chance to replenish one charge, and having the ability to always have the acceleration of your action skill cooldown when you stab yourself like is gonna be insanely OP because if you can't spawn a rift, your damage goes bye-bye, Nacho. So for the shield, honestly, anything goes. You don't use amp here, so Siphon is the way to go, or general survivability. What's for dinner and protein cell will give you a little bit of extra boost due to their innate damage, but fireworks for mobbing or collect or hopscotch for survivability are all good options. And for the grenade, it is the pen bullshit grit knife because loading up the boss is just going to be crazy good. All that damage that they're going to take is going to be increased. The Groundbreaker is increased. The Horror specs is increased. The dots are increased. You know what it is. But if you haven't got one, the other option is going to be the Bismuth Tip Dagger. That is going to give you a little bit of a damage, but you have to element match it, and it's not going to be as powerful, but it is something at least. Now, for the enhancement, it is just for the stats. So wherever you can get gun damage, specific gun damage, gun crit chance, anything will work. And for the class mode, of course, we're going to have configuration. Now, the talents are quite poo-poo, but Deadwire is going to be the best, so aim for that. As for the fixes, gun and skill crit chances are usually the best ones because you want to make sure that your Mortal Terror triggers, because if you crit, you're going to do damage. For the firmware, 3 in skill craft for obvious reasons, 1 in active fire because the 10% damage is crazy good, and then 1 in real big fist because you do a lot of melee. It's really Reapers that are going to be feeding a lot into your damage and killing all the shitlings. If you want, of course, You can swap that for something defensive. You're just going to lose a bit of damage. The specialization are exactly what you'd expect. Groundbreaker, duh. Now with caffeine, duh. And I am gonna the best defense for good measures, duh. But this was the Blood Rift build. And I'm having a hard time recommending something else, but I gotta, so I'm gonna. And that one is gonna be the tried and tested Blood Letter Incarnate kills heavy on the cream with the green build. I was thinking about this one just the other day. This build, low-key became what Rafa with the Overdrive used to be. Just a solid, sustained DPS machine. So if you're not finding your home with Rafa, come on in, the Walter is nice. Obviously, this is not new or anything. This doesn't require a reinventment of the wheel. A reinvention? Reinventment? What the fuck is that word? So it doesn't require a reinvention of the wheel. It won't have the peaks that other burst builds have. I'm not going to tell you this. But there is one big advantage of this. That is a really big comfort in knowing that as long as there are going to be broken, stupidly strong weapons in the game, this build will work. And I mean, you know, kind of we're talking about Borderlands, every patch is just going to become a more broken, stupidly OP weapon. So that's about as safe of a bet as it can get. Now let's quickly recap. For the folks that have been living under a rock, what you're doing here for the talents. We're gonna go in heavy and pick up Bloodletter, pick up all the kill skills, the activators, the mortar terrors, and we're gonna go down and then get the synergy out of the lifesteal with Bloody Spire. Basically, we wanna crit as many times, and we wanna fill up the Bloodletter ticks with as hard of a damage instances as we can. That's it. Because we have Bloodshot, I'm also going to be putting 1 point into Guns and Needles to get a little bit of a cheeky rep kit cooldown, which is more or less required depending on what rep kit you're using. But if you need more points, you can take it out of material component. I like the dot though, so 5 in there for me. The capstone you want to take is Vibe Check because you're always going to refill your charges so you can just keep on Kamehameha shoot it out. And you don't want to take Heart Piercer because you'll be gimping yourself and it's crucial to stay on max health. For the augment, there is 2 different options though. For bossing, Geist Wave. It's going to give you the debuff, it's going to do more damage, that one is just going to be better. But Witchy Trigger Finger is a really nice ammo refill that is, depending on how you can get into the groove, it can become much better. Granted, if the ammo capacity is going to be less than 20, you might not have the animation go off quick enough to be able to sustain it, so just keep it in mind, it's a bit more weapon specific. But then for the blue tree, we're going to be picking up Idle Hands because we're always on full health thanks to the kit of our class mod. And because we're always shooting, turns out reload is useful. Ha! But then for the red, the remaining 3 points are going to go into Grave Sustenance because this is quality of life. 15% I find kind of a sweet spot to keep my Incarnate rolling forever while mobbing. And then it kinda sometimes works on bosses too with Mortal Terror. The gameplay loop here is super easy. Aim, shoot until things stop wiggling around on the ground. You can rep kit and grenade and use your blast whenever you kind of feel like it or just wanna look fancy. But that's really it. Just fucking shoot. So for the gear, weaponry is anything and everything. Now clearly, the crowdsourced is going to be the best weapon in the entire game today. Especially with 3 out of 3 inactive fire for firmware. And it happens to be kinetic, so that's kind of my recommendation. But it is a bit of a hard form. But, I mean, you know, get on it and take that to the fish lovers. That's what I'm going to do. Anything works, though. If it's a strong gun, it will do fine. The enhancement, obviously the same goes for this one. Pick one for the gun and then pick a booster for it. For the ordnance, if you're going to go with Slippy, you're going to get access to CQC. If not, Crit Knife or the Bismuth Tip Dagger is just going to be workable. Or a heavy ordnance that is kinetic is going to help you as well because they get all the boosts. As for the shield, we're back on that amp bullshit. You're shooting all the time, so what's for dinner with amp is going to be your best choice. And for the class mod, it is OG time, baby, with Teen Witch. This will give you heaps of survivability and will allow you to use what's for dinner freely. For the talents, they finally fixed Grave Thirst, so you want as many of that as you can. This will directly feed into your damage because of the lifesteal. And then the rep kit can either be triple bypass with an offensive buff like Enrage, Fire Rate, Splash Damage, etc. or Warpaint. This one is going to give you a lot of damage, but you may need more points in Guns and Needles depending on the mob density, because if you're not taking enough damage instances to your shield, I think it's shield, then you're not going to be able to reset the cooldown. And for the firmware, 1 point in active fire is always good. And I really like 1 point in heating up for the reload. And then you can take 3 of whatever you want. If you want to pierce, high caliber. If you want high crit damage, Deadeye. If you got an order gun, active fire. You get the point. And then for the specialization, it is all offensive all day, baby. Riddle you this best defense, CQC, bullet train, in the zone, all the works. Pick whatever for your heart desires. But this was it for Vex. Now, I have a clear favorite in Blood Rift. That's my recommendation. But obviously, there's a reason why all reliables are called just that. Harlow is the last one up next, coming out tomorrow. Well, depending on when you do watching this, it might already be out. Anyway, highlight your boy down in the comments. What Vex build are you going to be taking to the fish pond? And if you enjoyed this video, consider liking, subscribing, and all that just fun buttons with YouTube. A huge thank you to the channel members for supporting. And if you feel like you want to be on that exclusive VIP list, then the link is down below. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.